Blaine's departure for earthquake relief in Mexico City left Zoey with a bittersweet goodbye. Their nightly calls became a precious connection, with Blaine secretly walking miles through dangerous terrain just to speak with her. But aftershocks silenced the calls, and days turned into a week of agonizing uncertainty. Jose's call revealed Blaine's sacrifices and delivered the devastating news. Blaine was missing. Consumed by guilt, Zoey retraced his steps, clinging to hope. But the return of the saint. Mary's team without Blaine shattered her world. Is Blaine alive? Can Zoey overcome her guilt? What will she do next?
Right when Zoey was about to give up hope, she received a text. She couldn't believe her eyes.
My house. 30 minutes. Blaine.
Zoey rushed to Blaine's house.
Blaine, are you okay?
Blaine pulled her into an embrace and she burst into tears. Overwhelmed by the pain and worry of all the past days, she clung to him tightly. Blaine gently guided her to the sofa.
Stop crying and let me have a good look at you first.
You promised you'd be safe, but then you vanished. Do you know how worried and scared I was?
Zoey's unending sobs were unlike any before. Gently, Blaine brushed her hair aside, noticing her tired eyes and pale complexion.
And you? Zoey, you promised to take care of yourself. I was gone just 2 weeks and you've already lost so much weight. Is this your idea of taking care of yourself?
I was so scared I'd never see you again, so I haven't been able to sleep.
What do you mean? You haven't slept at all?
Zoey didn't reply, but hugged him tightly, resting on his chest and instantly falling asleep. The next morning, she woke up beside a peaceful Blaine, who grabbed her hand gently and gave her a sleepy smile. But suddenly, her heart filled with worry again.
Where were you this past week?
That's all in the past now. Let's not dwell on it.
Blaine tenderly caressed her face, his touch conveying warmth and care. He didn't want to talk about his time trapped in a collapsed building where he'd almost faced death. Zoey saw the pain in his eyes and respected his silence.
All right. I won't ask.
I'll tell you how I survived, though.
How?
I was trapped with a man in his 60s who was missing his late wife dearly. We shared stories about our first loves. Although we were rescued before I could finish my story, he was so eager to know how it ended.
Zoey closed her eyes as he looked into her teary eyes.
What kind of ending do you think I should have told him?
Zoey's heart ached. Her silence was her answer. Blaine reluctantly sat up, and Zoey noticed him wincing in pain.
Are you injured? Why didn't you say? Where? Show me.
I'm okay. Get some more sleep. It's the weekend.
No. Let me take a look. I want to help.
Blaine gripped her hand, not letting her move, and gave her a mischievous smile.
Are you sure you want to see it?
Yes.
All right.
As Blaine spoke, he started to unbutton his pants with one hand, causing Zoey to shy away.
What are you doing?
Showing you my wound. And don't worry, my injury won't affect anything.
Zoey's eyes widened, and she immediately averted her gaze, extending her hand to signal him to stop.
No, don't do that. Stop! I've changed my mind. I don't want to see it anymore.
Blaine burst into laughter as he pulled his hand away from his pants.
You go back to sleep. I'll take a shower.
Blaine chuckled and headed to the bathroom, moving cautiously due to his back injury. Zoey, concerned, threw off the blanket and got up.
Let me help you.
Blaine placed one arm around her shoulders and shifted all his weight onto her. Inside the bathroom, he suddenly grabbed Zoey by the waist and placed her on the counter.
You were limping as if you were badly hurt, and now you're full of energy. Are you faking it?
I'm just making use of your offer to help. You're going to help me with shaving.
What? I can't do that. I've never shaved a man before.
Blaine smiled at her response and gave Zoey the shaving cream and razor. Awkwardly, she applied the cream to his stubble and picked up the razor.
Don't accidentally slit my throat with that razor to take your frustration out.
Zoey's nervousness vanished with his sarcastic remark. She playfully slapped the shaving cream on Blaine's face, laughing at his shocked expression.
Now I have an idea of what you'll look like when you're old.
While Zoe said that, Blaine playfully took the shaving cream and sprayed it on her forehead.
And I can picture you as a little old lady.
Zoe tried to grab the shaving cream can for revenge, but Blaine held it high above her reach.
Well, if you don't give it to me, I can't shave you.
Promise not tease me anymore?
Zoe nodded and then carefully held Blaine's cheek with one hand and used the razor with the other, moving it slowly under his chin.
I heard you had to walk almost 2 hours each day to call me while you were in Mexico.
Zoe tried to sound casual, but kept a close eye on Blaine's expressions.
I heard that while I was away, you couldn't do anything properly.
Nonsense. Who said that?
I have a voicemail recording. Would you like me to play it for you?
Don't.
Zoe remembered her repeated, desperate voicemails. As Blaine reached for his phone kept on the counter, Zoe grabbed his hand and gently rubbed her cheek against his palm.
Back then, I was genuinely scared you wouldn't return and made a big mistake at work that day. My boss was kind about it, but I felt terrible.
As Zoe tearfully spoke, she glanced up at Blaine.
Blaine, please promise me that you won't take such risks in the future, all right?
Blaine arched an eyebrow as he gazed at Zoe's teary-eyed face. A fiery excitement burned within him, but he concealed it. He leaned in closer to Zoe, locking eyes with her.
What kind of status do you hold in my life to ask such a thing?
Despite his calm tone, the intense anticipation in his eyes revealed his deepest feelings. Zoe was unsure how to reply and lowered her gaze.
Fine. Okay.
Blaine pulled her close and kissed her without warning. Suddenly, their passionate moment was interrupted by a doorbell. Reluctantly breaking their kiss, Blaine glanced at the door monitor, spotting Sophia outside. Nervous, Zoe jumped down from the counter.
I'll open the door.
No.
Why?
Didn't we agree to not let her know about us?
What if I told you I want to end my engagement with her for you, Zoe?
Zoe was stunned by his words, momentarily speechless before shaking her head.
Blaine, don't be impulsive.
Impulsive? Do you truly believe my feelings for you are just a whim, Zoe?
Blaine, I never meant for you to break off your engagement or for us to be together. I only wanted to make a deal.
Blaine suddenly pulled her in his arms with rage and hatred.
Say what you just said to me again.
I never wanted a relationship with you. I only approached you for money. I don't want Sophia to know about us. Do you understand?
Zoe's words hurt Blaine deeply. In a fit of rage, he pushed her against the bathroom wall, punched the wall, and drew blood.
Blaine, you're bleeding.
Zoe tried to reach for his injured hand, but he stopped her abruptly. Blaine forcefully pressed his body against her, breathing heavily. His cold eyes stared at her.
Take off your clothes.
What?
Didn't you say this wasn't about money? As my mistress, you must serve me to earn it.
Zoe was taken aback. She'd seen Blaine's anger before, but this was different. He grabbed Zoe's chin with his injured hand.
I won't repeat myself.
Zoe, trembling with tears in her eyes, started unbuttoning her shirt, but he stopped her with a cold, desireless gaze.
Zoe, you're despicable.
Overwhelmed by Blaine's hatred, Zoe broke down in tears against his shoulder, unable to express her love for him, for her son's safety.
Blaine!
Blaine leaned over her, breathless and in pain because of his wound, but the pain in his heart drowned out everything else. Will Blaine's heart turn cold because of Zoe's words? What new turn will their relationship take? Will Sophia find out about Blaine and Zoe's affair, endangering little Max?
Hey, I'm Zoe. If you're wondering what happens next, download the Pocket FM app now and listen to the exciting episodes of Rekindled Heartache.